I'm having sex tonight and I'm gonna buy some condoms. Have safe sex, everyone. Hi, I'm Venice, I'm single and I'm sexually active. Lately, I've been thinking about how much, being sexually active cost me. I realized that I've been spending a lot of money on things like this. But apart from these lifestyle costs, a lot of my money is also going to things like this. Which made me wonder, what is the true dollar cost of being sexually healthy in Singapore? If I had to get birth control pills here, it would cost me like $20 to $50 a month. It's a good thing that I got my birth control implant when I was studying in the UK and it was free. Thank you, NHS.
The cost for female to bear the birth controls is definitely way much higher because it's not just like one-time use, property only, and the most available birth control method for males are condoms. It's really on demand.
Which means men only have to buy condoms whenever they want to have sex. Whereas for women,
you actually have to take 4 months of the pills, which is actually accumulated into a higher cost.
But that wasn't the only inequality that Celio noticed when she was setting up her healthcare platform.
I've met a lot of guys in Singapore who have never gotten tested in their life, which is very interesting. Females are definitely more aware of our health because we do start facing our health issues at a very young age. Also, there are a lot of symptoms that are more visible. One of the biggest symptoms for females are actually the discharge.
I used to get tested all the time, at least once a month back in the UK because it was free. But in Singapore, because STI screenings are so expensive, I basically only get tested every time I get a new partner. I still choose to spend that money even when I do have protected sex because it's not just penetrative sex that can pass on STIs and STDs, oral sex like blowjobs, misusing condoms and stuff like that. But whenever I look online, I always see this price difference between the full male and female STD testing panel. So not only do we tend to get tested more, we also have to pay more for it. Being susceptible to things like yeast and bacterial infections, we need to get tested for those as well. And men just don't. To be fair, we've only been talking about straight men so far, but it turns out that there are extra costs if you're a gay man.
Straight men do not give blowjobs. Because of that, it is unlikely that they do things like throat swabs. Even anal swabs is more commonly practiced in the gay community because they feel that they are at a higher risk of transmission. My own experience is gay men are very much more conscientious in terms of STD screening and testing.
But at least the government subsidizes some vaccinations and screenings, right? There's a government subsidy that lets you get the HPV vaccine for really cheap. But unfortunately, the government subsidized vaccine only protects you against 2 strains of HPV. So that's why I chose to pay out of pocket to get a more comprehensive vaccine. One dose that I got was $267.50. So do the math. I take this stuff very seriously because I don't want to die of cervical cancer. And also, why don't men qualify to get the subsidy for this vaccine as if they can't get HPV and pass it around as well?
In Asian society, there is a very strong bias towards STDs being a result of promiscuity. It's all your fault, so you should pay for it. Whereas Western insurance companies, I feel that they accept that this is part of preventative health. Those are costs that add up much more in the long run. If you get it treated, you get it screened early, you actually reduce the cost to the healthcare system.
So unfortunately, for good sexual healthcare in Singapore, the cost of it mostly falls on the individual. And for this month, just for all of my sexual healthcare stuff, it has cost me almost $400. Being single and sexually active in Singapore is really expensive, but with better education, government subsidies, and insurance coverage, it really doesn't have to be.